What's going on, guys? It's K-Dub here with another episode of Crypto Zombie. As usual, first and foremost, extremely important that I say shout out to everyone that's been liking, subscribing, and commenting. You guys are amazing. You're the reason that I get up every day and do what I do. So, I also wanted to say thank you to everybody that had so much to say on my video yesterday regarding NEO. It was something that I felt very passionately about, and I was really happy to see the response. And yes, there were some opposing viewpoints, but it's nice to actually see that because the whole objective behind the video was basically that I don't like when people spread this FUD and then without doing any research or without even allowing a chance for a rebuttal, people just jump to conclusions, make assumptions, and my whole objective to the video, yes, it was heavily based on NEO, but the ultimate goal was to truly understand that there's a lot of things that get said on the internet, especially a lot of things in the crypto space, and you cannot trust everything for face value. So if you guys took anything away from the video yesterday, I hope that it's just to do your own research and to understand that there's a lot of opposing views, manipulation, backroom incentives that happen in crypto all the time. And I just wanted a lot of, especially newbies, people just getting involved, to realize that this is something that happens a lot, and I just don't want to see people, losing money or making irrational decisions based on emotion or based on FUD articles like we've seen in the past. So basically that was that, but let's move on because that is yesterday's news. Let's talk about today's news. But first, let's have a look at the cryptocurrency markets today. And oh my goodness, hold on. It's a lot of red, guys. I'm getting blinded by the red here. I can't even take that seriously. But seriously, there is a lot of red going on today in the markets. So if you're down today, chances are I'm down, your neighbor's down, your friend is down, we're all down. However, Tether's doing all right, and DigixDAO is doing all right because they are the ones that you can hedge with real-world assets. So every time the markets take a dip, we always do see the money flow into DigixDAO, or Tether, or really anything that is pegged to some real-world asset. So, also, before we move on, I just wanted to say, friendly reminder from the highway department, always be safe. Safety first, guys. Safety first. So, this statement came out from the NEO Council from Honfei himself. Obviously, I couldn't include this in the video yesterday because it came out after the video. But he does go to address the 3 key points, which are NEO's consensus mechanism, NEO's plan to decentralize nodes, and he talks about the recent delay of their block production. So I will drop a link to the article here. If you guys want, you can just go to neo.org. It's on their blog, but I'm not going to go into it. Very long article, but I thought that that was a nice follow-up, cherry on the top, kind of a nice conclusion to the debacle from yesterday. Also, on that same note, Apex, which you guys know, was a NEO ICO. Now, Apex is the next generation of consumer brand interactions, and they released a statement on their Telegram saying that they had big news coming up, but we'll give you a hint. It's not the NEO blockchain. In other words, they're not going to be on the NEO blockchain. So that really didn't help to add to a lot of things yesterday. So there was this speculation about, well, what are they going to do? Are they going to be on Icon? Are they going to switch to EOS? Right? There was all this speculation going around. So they finally released this article, and highlighting it, they said that they're going to be creating a blockchain for all B2C interactions, which is CRM, data, marketing, loyalty, and they're going to aim to change the way that business interacts with their customers. But the main thing I wanted you to take away from this is that the Apex network blockchain is actually already under development as of February. So to answer everyone's question, Apex is not looking to branch out to a different blockchain. They're looking to start their own blockchain, which is exactly what we've seen with Ontology. Ontology they're doing their airdrops on NEO, but Ontology is going to be its own blockchain moving forward. I think that's really cool, and that's probably going to be a great thing for Apex moving forward to be able to have their own blockchain where then, should they choose to do so, they can run their own side chains or whatever they want to do in the future. But the CPX token is going to currently remain an NEP5 token on the NEO blockchain until further notice, which they will be updating you. Currently, they said late March, early April, so stay tuned. So to cover up any of that news, basically, they have their own blockchain. They're going to have their own native token, and that is exactly why they will not be using NEO. I think that's really cool, personally. I like to see these companies and these projects coming out with their own blockchains. Kind of just helps create that more robustness to the whole cryptocurrency space. Also, speaking about Bitcoin, guys, did you see this? So it says that Bitcoin transactions, the volume has hit an all-time 2-year low, despite the fact that Bitcoin has hit rock bottom fees. So it's pretty much the cheapest time to send Bitcoin, but there's also being the least amount of Bitcoin being sent. Now, one could argue that the fees are so low because there's not a lot of Bitcoin being sent, also due to the fact that we've seen SegWit being rolled out through a lot of these big players like Binance and Coinbase and other things of that nature. But yeah, it's really interesting, and it is a bit of an enigma for me personally. What do you guys think about it? Is it because we're using different currencies? Do you think that people are using Litecoin or Ethereum over Bitcoin, or do you think everyone's just kind of hodling their Bitcoin recently? So that's something that we have to consider, but I thought that was an interesting read. Also, the U.S. Marshal Service is going to sell roughly $25 million worth of seized Bitcoin at an auction. So I got super pumped about this. I was like, I'm going to get myself some cheap Bitcoin, but they do say that participants are required to complete registration by March 14th, and you're going to have to come forward with a minimum deposit of $200,000. So if you are looking to get involved in this Bitcoin auction, you're going to have $200,000 down payment before you can even participate. So, hey, if you got it, maybe you can get some cheap Bitcoin. Who knows, right? So also in other news, guys, the Orion web wallet came out for Neblio. So I've spoken about Neblio a few times on this channel. So the cool thing about the Orion wallet is basically that it's going to be able to support all of the NTP1 tokens, which is, it's essentially like the ERC20 of Neblio. So if you guys don't know about Neblio specifically, they're actually a pretty cool staking coin. They do offer an inflationary supply based on staking with roughly a 10% bonus per year. So whatever you have, if you hold it, you stake it for a year, you will earn 10% Neblio based on how much you are staking. And another cool thing that I also found out about Neblio and the Orion wallet is that they are currently in contact with Ledger to get Ledger support to support the wallet. So hard wallet support for me is always a really awesome thing moving forward. You can help keep your funds safe. You don't have to share your private key with anyone. In fact, you don't even know your private key on your Ledger. So that is definitely awesome moving forward. Speaking of the Ledger and the safety, I also wanted to note that Ledger now has their firmware upgrade to 1.4.1 for the Ledger Nano S. So it's going to have a lot of features. You can come down here and check it out. A lot of technical features. There's also some pretty cool things they're going to have where you can kind of hold the button down for 3 seconds and you can enable your screen to lock. But I think one of the biggest takeaways from this is that they are going to be able to now support up to 18 apps or 18 different wallets, where currently they're only able to support 4. So currently, if you have a Ledger, you can only support 4 wallets at a time. I mean, you can take it off and put another one on, but that's a pain, right? So now they're saying that they'll be able to support up to 18 apps in the Ledger wallet. I think that is definitely reaching out to what the community has been asking for, and that's really nice to see moving forward. Also, this really cool chart that I found based on security is, and now this is something I've always wondered myself, like I've always been curious, how easy is it to just randomly come up with a private key, say with these quantum computers, how difficult would it be to crack somebody's private key? So they actually relate it to winning the Powerball right here. So it says that you would have to win the Powerball 9 times in a row in order to be the equivalent odds of guessing someone's Bitcoin private key. So they say that there's this odds of guessing any Bitcoin private key with a balance and then guessing a specific Bitcoin private key. That number is so astronomically large, I don't even know where to begin. So yeah, that's pretty cool. That's very safe. And I'm pretty sure at this point, I don't think I've ever heard of a Bitcoin address private key ever being hacked unless that person gave their private keys away. So that's just more things stressing how unbelievably safe the Bitcoin network is and how You know, obviously it's the, you know, decentralized, and it has one of the greatest, most safest blockchains, and I think that's why it continues to do so well, honestly. But another thing, speaking about safety, I wanted to talk about this article. Now, guys, listen, like I said, I do talk about don't take things for face value. I myself personally, I don't own any Monero. I've never owned any Monero. I don't have anything against Monero. I just never really had a need for privacy tokens. So I have discussed the fork previously on my channel, but since then I have not revisited the topic. So there is this article that came out on CoinDrift, and they were discussing that there might be a few red flags about the Monero fork. Now, we have seen the price of Monero skyrocket pretty high in anticipation of this fork. Or maybe that was just one of the factors of it. So this is what they're highlighting, okay? The date of the fork, okay? Every 6 months or so, Monero developers update the protocol through a scheduled hard fork. Due to 100% consensus, no new coins are generated. But just, I'm going to skip over this really quick because it's too much to read. But the things that they're worried about is there's no exchange support, no support from Monero. There's a 10% pre-mine. The team is anonymous, which I don't know if I actually have a problem with the team being anonymous. I mean, if it's an anonymous cryptocurrency and the team is anonymous, that kind of just falls into place with the whole crypto being anonymous, right? But here's the biggie that a lot of people didn't like right here. This was the big problem. Private keys are needed to claim MoneroV. So currently, the only way that you can claim your coins after the fork is by entering your private keys into the closed source MoneroV wallet, with the team claiming that they will only release the compiled wallet after the fork. This is a big red flag for a couple reasons, both of which are detailed by the Monero team. Firstly, the wallet could be recording all private keys entered, allowing all of your Monero to be stolen. And secondly, it could also be used to expose details about the anonymous Monero blockchain, allowing the attackers to expose Monero user identities. So, like I said, guys, I'm not trying to say this is a scam. I'm not trying to say this isn't a scam. I just wanted to bring this article out to you, as I have not done research recently about this. So this article does pose that question. So any of you that are looking to get into it, I would definitely see what's going on, try to get involved, and really just understand what it is, because giving your private key away, I mean, I've always just been told, and I always know to not do that. I just don't give my private key away under any circumstances whatsoever. So, you know, for me, that's a big no-no. Regardless of whether or not a project is legit or not, I just don't give my private keys away. So that's something to keep in mind. Also, guys, I was talking to you about how, you know, whenever the market's going down, we're seeing people put their money into USDT, we're seeing money flow into Digix DAO, and now I wanted to bring out this TrueUSD, TUSD, which just recently rolled out. It's only been on CoinMarketCap for about a day, and they're already listed on Bittrex. So then the question is, what makes TrueUSD any different or better than Tether? So I took the opportunity to come over here and check out their website, and their claim right here on the front page is that they are 100% collateralized by US dollars in legally protected escrow accounts with multiple bank partners, so you can trade, send, and receive payments with peace of mind. And they have a lot of stuff you can look at on their website. So far, they come across as legit. And right here, what I think is really cool is that they're allowing anyone that actually possesses the TUSD, as long as you pass KYC and AML, the KYC AML check, you will actually be able to redeem your TUSD for actual US dollars, which is currently something that we do not see available for, you know, USDT. So I think that sets them apart. Moving forward, we'll see how this goes. Is TrueUSD going to become the new Tether? It could. So keep an eye out on that, guys. So that's something to look forward to. I think that'd be pretty cool, a USD kind of gateway through TrueUSD, if that's how they're really going to work it out. That could be really awesome. You can kind of bypass the whole Coinbase thing and get directly into trading. That's something to look forward to. But let's also talk about blockchain in the real world. Let's talk about some real world use cases. So if you guys know about Medialchain, they recently announced a partnership with the Groves Medical Group in London. And the Groves Medical Group in London, currently, they support over 30,000 registered patients with 1,000 private patient families. The pilot is going to commence sometime around July 2018, and it's going to allow MedicalChain to gather feedback from doctors and patients to refine its platform and continue development. So it's basically going to be like a, almost like a beta, you know, but in the real world, they're going to kind of test it out. They're going to get feedback from the patients, from the doctors, see how the chain works, kind of have it in a little bit of a sandbox environment, see where they can work out the kinks and work out the bugs. And they're also going to provide an incentive down here. Wait, where is it? It was somewhere at the bottom. So they're going to be providing an incentive to have their patients and their physicians use the token on the platform. So they're in other words, they're going to basically provide incentives for you to actually use the token rather than dollars, hopefully to get that blockchain integration, you know, really get it in people's minds that, you know, blockchains, tokenization, this is a real thing, we can use it, right? Also, another company that I wanted to bring up, now it's a French company, so I tried to translate it down here, but didn't really come out on Twitter, but Carrefour, I think the Carrefour group they're called. So basically, they are a distributor, from what I'm aware of looks like poultry and possibly eggs. But what they're actually doing is they're now putting their information on the blockchain so that you'll be able to trace all the way back. You can find exactly like where your chicken came from, where your eggs came from, where was the farm, what type of a farm it was, what were the conditions, you know, like you could do if you want an organic, you know, free range type thing of that nature. And I think that this is something too that we're seeing with a lot of the supply chain logistics. It's something that I've seen with Origin Trail. So moving forward, I think that when you look at real world applications for blockchain, people do argue, do we need blockchain for everything? No, we don't need blockchain for everything. But I do think that supply chain logistics, fraud, things like VeChain, Walton, you know, despite the situation they had recently with the whole Twitter account, but moving forward, you know, Walton, Wabi, you know, Origin Trail, and just blockchain in general, I think is something that we're going to see a lot, especially, you know, with counterfeit goods. And I think that the validity of what you're purchasing, where it comes from, I think is going to become a lot more important as people begin to question everything, right? That's the whole theme of this, is question everything. You know, we want to know the truth. We want to know where it comes from. We want transparency. So one final thing I wanted to bring up was I get a lot of questions about staking coins. Everybody wants to know about coins providing dividends, such as Neo paying you gas, or as I spoke about Neblio with their staking, their 10% annual. And you're going to have VeChain with their Thor token. So if you want, I found this article right over here from Captain Altcoin. And if you scroll down, he goes into a huge list of some of the best coins for staking and what are the passive income returns. So you have coins like Neo, obviously I said Ven, you have Lisk, Arc, KuCoin shares, Augur, Bridgecoin, DigixDAO, Pivx, Economy, and yeah. So you guys can come over here if you're interested in that, because we all love free money. I know I love free money, even though it's kind of hard to find sometimes in crypto, especially with this constant red and constant FUD and just bouncing back. But hey, you know, let's stick it out. Let's do our thing. Let's be part of this. And in the end, I think that we'll be fine. I'm not worried, guys. A lot of it too, don't forget, a lot of it has to do with really just the media. I mean, when Bitcoin was on every front page of every paper, your friends were talking about it, your mom and dad, your grandma's talking about it, then all of a sudden the Bitcoin price is through the roof, everybody wants to get in, and as soon as the price starts to sink, everybody wants to get out, which is like a completely backwards investor mentality, really. So my personal opinion on that is if we see Bitcoin climbing up to that 20K, about to break that 20K, we're probably going to see a lot of people coming back into the space. So unfortunately, a lot of it does depend on Bitcoin, but moving forward, blockchain technology, I don't think there's really anything holding that back, and I think blockchain technology is going to be something that we will be seeing applied to a lot of different enterprise solutions, businesses, supply chain logistics, and just a lot moving forward. You know, cars, even with cars, keeping records straight. So yeah, guys, that is the news for today. I wanted to say thank you again for coming back to my channel. My name is K-Dub. This is Crypto Zombie. Until next time, stay crypto and peace out.